If you don't manage to kill yourself doing one of your experiments, somebody else will definitely do it for you.
You are sorely mistaken. My scientific undertaking will be universally applicable and useful to everyone, so it is not in the interest of any of Galarian's inhabitants to hinder my work. This is clear to everyone, yes?
No. Hey, welcome back to another Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous video, and you know what? Puzzles scare me. I'm not very good at puzzles, and like I said, I will use a guide if I need to, because I could sit here and end up, you know, I could sit probably for an entire hour and not piece that puzzle together. That's just, yeah, not that sort of puzzle anyway. Where are we? Where are we in terms of area? We're at Cord Riddle, so we did that. Oh no, we have to solve 4 puzzles. Great. Great. Heart of Mystery. I want to kind of head down here. Maybe we should have went back in and kind of went to the... Yeah, I feel like that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back in and go back to the Heart of Mystery. So yeah, back here. Try and aim to get here. So we'll travel here. Goddamn armies. So I'm heading here. Evade! If Abracadabras hate all that is beautiful, how did they fight on the same side as the succubi? Succubi are only beautiful on the outside. Inside, they are nothing but hunger and ugliness. Maybe an Abracadabras can sense it? That's a name. I don't want to say drunk. No. Okay, I thought I was already there. We weren't there yet. Oh. I can't say this word. Iridescent streaks appear in the bilious violet sky above the deserted lands. The streaks are not like any ordinary Galarian rainbow. They look more like an oil dropped in water. The sweltering haze in the sky seems to waver along with the streaks. Time and again, one of the commander's party spots some movement out of the corner of their eye and reaches for their weapon, only to immediately realize they were mistaken. The ground underfoot turns a muddy grey, covered in a dense layer of ash expelled by geysers. Curious natural phenomena, not uncommon in these parts. In the distance, barrows can be seen appearing only as vague piles of rocks in the haze. The wind whips clouds of ash into the faces of the commander and her party, and along with the ash, the wind ushers in ragged grey clouds that shroud the sky. A giant eye of cloud, unblinking, watches the commander and her party from above. One can only imagine how insignificant the creatures struggling across the land must seem from such a height. In a break in the clouds, the white of the sky's eye pulses, ready to burst like a boil. The dark cloud of the pupil grows black as steel, and the commander decides to study the shape of the clouds more closely, and somehow Wolfjiff, being the most perceptive, just doesn't seem like he's fit for the task. And he wasn't. Wolfjiff senses nothing out of the ordinary. Who knows what clouds normally look like in the wound? Ash clings to the party's face. Another storm is brewing, but the gusts of winds may yet push the ragged clouds past. Okay, let's try Ninio. Ninio recalls a conversation with seasoned crusader. If a giant eye appears in the sky, you must run and not look back. According to the witness, what follows such an omen is so horrific that it can rob a newcomer to the world wound of their sanity. Make for the barrows that only cover in the middle of the wastes. Living creatures can be beaten, but one cannot conquer a force of nature. The commander decides to run for cover. The party manages to reach the barrows before the storm swells to its full force. Something suddenly drops from the sky, landing with a splat at the commander's feet, with an overripe fruit, like an overripe fruit. It is white, about the size of a chestnut. There's a dark center, and the longer the commander stares at it, the more it seems like something is staring back. The fruit looks disturbingly like an eyeball. The whirlwind of ash stops the party from looking up to see what is happening in the sky. Perhaps the carrion bird was transporting its already rotting prize home. At least that's what all the companions are hoping as they cluster around the milky white eyeball. A second eyeball lands nearby with an unpleasant squelch, leaving only a bloody splash on the ash-covered ground. 2 eyeballs cannot be a coincidence. The looming rocky ledges, which give the barrows the appearance of a hill, look like they could come crashing down on the party's head. At any moment, however, they do offer protection from the storm. The horrific hail misses the party almost entirely, and eyeballs land around them in a wet cacophony. Yummy. The land around the barrows looks more like a dumping ground than a burial ground. The storms of bleached skulls and bones, rusted armor, and dented swords. This is a familiar sight. More surprising are the arms and legs of golems scattered around the waste, the once snarling faces of animals that now lack all resemblance to their living brethren, things that look like horse carcasses but with broken mechanical legs. Everything is brown with rust and long forgotten. Battle was fought here once. Through the veil of ash, the party struggles to find the entrance to the burrow. Wolfjiff taps on a rock to test its solidity, trying to find a weak point, a crevice, or a door. Victory smiles on him. The next strike is answered with a ringing of iron. The ash-darkened piece of metal that covers the entrance crumbles under Wolfjiff's attack. The mouth of the burrow is cool and smells of damp dust. More of the ash lies underfoot, pressed into a glossy, slippery crust. It is clear that the burrow has been constructed above a cave system. The deliberately carved-out corridors stretching off into the burrow's depths leave room for natural passageways. The wind wailing through the stalactites in the dark carries the strange sound to a desperate human cry. Help me! Help me! The party strains to hear and decides to... Let's hope. The longer Titania von Shire listens, the more the voice changes. One moment it sounds like the desperate cry of a child, the next a piercing, ragged scream of a woman, the next birdsong. It cannot be ruled out that she is hearing only what she wants to hear. Let's go towards the voice. Titania von Shire cannot ignore the cries for help, and the party rushes towards the sound, frequently looking around for enemies or traps. A strange thing. The closer they get to the voice, the less distinct the pleas become, blurring into a grinding screech of a rusty mechanism. The only passage leading further into the burrow finishes in a dead end. A spacious cave, its walls decorated with frescoes that have almost entirely faded over time. Before the companions have a chance to decide whether to look for a door or turn back, the cave floor, which seems solid with well-trodden ash, vibrates and begins to ripple like water. One after another, the commander's companions are sucked into a thick, ashy mass, like they have stepped into quicksand. Party needs to assess the situation. No, the party begins to panic, and when they see nothing to grab onto, but the more they struggle, the faster the quagmire pulls them under. Okay, commander tries to grab hold of projections on the wall. That also fails. The party notices ledges on the nearest wall and tries to grab onto them and pull themselves out, but their grip fails, and one after another the commander's companions fall heavily back into the quagmire with a deafening splash. The quagmire's grip seems to suddenly vanish. The commander realizes she is in freefall, but it's too late to do anything. She has no time to brace herself, and it is only a spear sticking out of the dark that ironically saves her from certain death. It rips through her clothes, drawing blood and leaving her suspended in midair. Suddenly, everything jolts into action. Dozens of daggers, saws, swords, spears spring out of all sides, whistling through the air. But this is no enemy ambush. The weapons are being brandished by the pistons and loudly scraping gears of a giant mechanism. The spear that saved the commander was so rusted in its piston that it no longer able to move. The party have found itself in the heart of a giant metal flower growing up out of the ashy quagmire covering the floor. The urinag, built by the forgers of the abyss, tries to close its petals, crushing, mashing, and cutting its victims to pieces. But years of lying dormant in the darkness have taken their tolls. Its articulations move a soul-shuddering screech and become easily jammed. The mummified bodies of the unlucky crusaders can still be seen hanging, speared on rusted blades. If the commander wants to avoid their fate, she must... Even a magical mechanism is still a mechanism. From above, the commander has a good view of the Urnag's inner workings. Large toothed wheels are set into motion by gear shifts. It all becomes clear. If the gear shafts can be jammed, the movement will stop. The commander is almost out of time. Another few minutes and it will all be over. Realizing that a simple escape isn't possible, the commander decides to try jamming the Urnag's main mechanism in the heart of the flower. She looks around for something sturdy to find. A tower shield at the back of the dead warrior. The commander is almost out of time. Another few minutes and it will be all over. Realizing that a simple escape isn't possible, the commander decides to try jamming the Urnag's main mechanism in the heart of the flower. She looks around for something sturdy and finds. As she died, the female warrior tried to hide behind her tower shield, but it did not save her. The closing petals pinned her to the shield, forevermore fusing them together as a whole. The commander plants her feet against the shield and pushes, trying to dislodge it, but it doesn't move an inch. I'm going to try a hammer then. The commander is almost out of time. Another few minutes and it will all be over. Realizing that a simple escape is impossible? I know, I keep reading the same thing over and over. The body of a paladin clutching a warhammer in his hand of bone hangs from one of Uranag's hammers, pointing directly upwards. The commander is lucky that this warrior chose to meet his death with a weapon in hand. The commander drags the body towards her and grabs the hammer, but the servant of light's grip is still surprisingly strong and refuses to relinquish the weapon. The bone arms are easily ripped from the skeleton's shoulders, still holding the hammer. The commander tosses it into the heart of the Uranag. The hammer falls, sparking off the gears and getting stuck between them. With a furious screeching and scraping, the Uranag tries to grind up the hammer, but it cannot. A tremor travels up the pedals, there is a deafening cracking sound, and the Uranag stills forever. After carefully extracting themselves from the clutches of the broken Uranag, the commander and her party find themselves up to their knees in the ashy sludge once more, but this time it only harmlessly squelches under their feet as they walk. A dark breach yawns before them, and the cry the commander heard at the entrance to the barrow rises up again. Help me! Since there is no other route, the commander decides to see if there's anything of value on the Crusader's body. The commander searches the Crusaders' bodies, and what the dead no longer need may prove useful to the living. Fortune smiles on her. The party will be leaving the Uranag cave richer when they went in. After all its ordeals, the party finally goes up to the surface and emerges in the small chamber. Pipes protrude from numerous openings dotted all over the walls, and they connect to a small box adorned with Baphomet's symbol. The box cries out, producing a high, plaintive noises that can, when carried through the pipes, begin to sound something like "help me." The commander knows that this is just another demonic mechanism created to lure crusaders into the burrow. She smashes the box, scattering small bolts and gears across the room. Silence reigns. There are no secrets left in this place now. Ooh, fencer's gift and coins. Nice. Okay. We almost got eaten by a flower, a mechanical one at that. I just want to make sure that we've got everything. How evil does a person have to be for a paladin to be able to detect evil within them? Can a paladin use their magic to sense, for instance, a minor irritation or a latent sympathy for demons? We also leveled up. I don't know what to tell you, friend, but I think everybody can sense when another person is irritated. Everybody except you, that is. So true. We leveled up. Let's do that before we go anywhere. Can I be... Am I back again? Can I be... No, I can't because it's still... I never became... We're gonna go forward with being Winter Witch then. Persuasion. Perception? It's not. Is it worth me putting perception up anymore? We'll do more persuasion. Nature. Improve critical spell focus. Should do conjuration maybe. You can talk up the power of your own magic to such an extent that creatures find it more difficult to resist your spells. Ooh, that'll do. That'll do. I got new spells. Change staff. I don't have a core staff. Firestorm, Creeping Doom, Heal, Umbral Strike, True Seeing. Strike Paladin. Athletics. Persuasion. More athletics. Frightening Ambush. You are able to leap from hiding and strike great fear in your opponents. When you hit a flat-footed opponent, you can make a persuasion intimidation check to demoralize. Gain a +2 bonus perception skill if you have 10 or more. Nah. Great Fortitude. Get a +2 bonus on all fortitude saving throws. You get a plus at will saving, reflex, lunge. You can increase the reach of your melee attacks by 5 feet until the end of your turn by taking a... No. No. Toughness. You gain +3 hit points for every hit die you possess. Beyond 3, you gain an additional... You make a single attack that deals significantly more damage than normal. As a standard action, you can make one attack at your highest base attack bonus that deals additional damage. Roll the weapon's damage dice for... I kind of like the sound of that. I'm not really going to touch much of his. I haven't had a problem with his. Oh, raise the dead. He can now raise the dead. Nice. Eldritch Rascal. Again, I've never really had much of an issue. You can do back-to-back work with, yeah, while you're, yeah, screw it, we'll do that. Dominate person, feeble mind. What if I say no? What if I say no? What does our dearest Wolf Jiff need? Do you know, I could see. You trace mystical runes upon a target point, and runes immediately detonate. Do you know what? I want that. I want that. I want that. And some silver darts. Nenio! Again, I don't really know what to do with Nenio. Spell focus. Ambuscading spell. Your spells are particularly effective against those caught unaware. Combat casting. You are adept at spell casting when threatened. Trickery. Ooh. You gain a new spell-like ability, each usable twice a day. Vanish, Sleep, Blur, and she kind of has these. She kind of already has most of these. And they're charisma-based as well. You help your allies bypass your foe's magical defense. Oh, we don't have any team. We don't have teamwork. Okay. Abjuration. What does she normally use? Evocation. Then I would probably say we do. I don't know. Heaven Wing. Your performance creates the sounds of 1,000 angelic wings descending upon your enemies. I can't speak. Paralyzing. That's the word I'm looking for. You mark several allies with flame rune. The rune does not cause damage and sheds light as if it were touched. While the firebrand burns, any creature it marks is immune to damage from any fire spells you cast. Ooh. Walk through space. When under the effects of this spell, you can teleport up to 30 feet as a move action. You must end this movement in an unoccupied space. Alternatively, you can spend the move action to teleport to a standing position from lying prone. Ooh! I like that. Oh, and True Seeing Communion. That could work. Critical focus. You were trained in the art of causing pain you receive. Yeah. I have no arguments for her. Okay, that's everyone leveled up. However, we're not done yet because we still need a spell book. Oh, you should be proud of me. I remembered to do my spell book. Elemental body. You become a huge water elemental. Why? I mean, I'm gonna put it there, just... Ooh, sunbeam. Sunbeam. Did I get more slots open anywhere? I did. Thorn body. Oh, okay. Oh, I forgot we... yeah, I'm an idiot. I completely forgot. To put her magic on. Oh, it's communal. Mind you, though, we have... yeah. Holy Whisper. No spell slots. You don't have any. I see present. Okay. No. Oh, mirror image. More. More displacement. More phantasmal getter. More. Just more. True seeing. Walk through space. So really, yeah, I should have probably. Let's put Long Strider. Shield of Dawn. You can heal a creature, harm an undead creature, or call upon a recently dead creature. Okay. What about Shield of Dawn? Any creature that strikes you with a melee deals normal damage. Right, Shield of Dawn. That'll be handy. Okay. I remembered to do it! Sometimes I forget. Okay. Oof, it's not always a good thing. Oh dear. Swap him. This is fine. See? No problems. So, what were we doing? We were traveling, that's what we were doing. I am willing to bet that you have never heard this one before. This was told to me only yesterday, so Gaberzu, a Litadu, and a succubus walk into a tavern in Dresden. And the tavern keeper says, pick your poison, or do you want the commander to kill you personally? Who do you think came up with that one, Darian? Evade! I don't think we're going to be able to go any further, but yeah. Alright. We'll teleport back to Dresden. And hit the Nameless Ruin for a look. And then I think, come the next video... I start saying these things and I'm like, I haven't looked over here. Like, this whole patch here is kind of empty. Necromancers seem like the worst case there. You right there, bud? I don't know what he done. Well, that wasn't very nice. That's my doggos. Stop it. Take that. I want you to go back to prison. And I want you to restock. Hi, level 9. See, I'm gonna see. We'll take a car for a ride down here and see what's down here, as much as we can. Okay, that's as far as they can go. Oh, they leveled up. Go for the throats. Overwhelming. What is go for the throats? Target unit receives a -2 penalty to speed and gains a 25% chance to make a critical hit for 1 round. All enemies within make a fortitude saving throw applies stun. Ooh, I'll have that one. Oh, they still leveled up. Scorching Ray. Yes. Okay, they have just become badass. They can only go back there. They go nowhere. I feel like they are slightly wasted. I'll not lie. Just kind of... so I'm not getting confused all the time. Okay, right, well, let's teleport back to Dresden then. Probably rest is a good option. Mind you, no, I think we might be okay. Mind you, we do have quite a lot of corruption. Alright. Before I go to sleep, I'll quickly do some management. I'm just tying things up now. Really. I feel like we're getting too close to the end of the act. I do want to do some of the DLC stuff, so I'm going to focus a few videos onto that and just see how it goes. I'm kind of hoping that the blue area goes through all the other acts, but I do want to do a little bit of that before we progress into the next act, so yeah. Shaman's heir of the Sarkoria Faith rejoice. Their ancient relic has been torn from the claws of demons. They are ready to place it on the commander's gear to help take revenge for their lost homeland. Now to choose the item. Ooh. Well, what will it do? What does it say? Ooh. Ghost? This is an intermediate step. Oh, so it's just, we're just picking. Well, okay, I'll have a ring. Price of Mercy. A representative of the Technic League from Numeria arrived in Dresden. He offered to deliver a batch of volunteers for a reasonable price. However, the envoy servants secretly revealed that these are no volunteers, but a group of slaves. Knowing that slavery is banned in Mendev, the shrewd technomancer decided to sell his living goods under a false pretext. I'm hanging him? I don't believe in it. Many nations who do not tolerate slave trade approved of the command's uncompromising decision. As for the slaves who were left in Numeria, their fate most likely was grim. We got... Oh, wait, we can still, like, we can do this over and over and over again? Okay. Inspired priests will leave the service, travel across Archer. Okay, yep. Criminal growth for units. Awesome. Okay. Beer. Beer elements. Champion the chain of command. The war wears soldiers down, defeats his attitude. Okay, issue a decree. I'm not sure I'm decreeing here, but do that. Let's have that. And we'll go and rest.
If you don't manage to kill yourself doing one of your experiments, somebody else will definitely do it for you.
You are sorely mistaken. My scientific undertaking will be universally applicable and useful to everyone, so it is not in the interest of any of Galarian's inhabitants to hinder my work. This is clear to everyone, yes?
No. Uh-oh. Commander, permission to report. Captain Harmattan looks worried. The army's disposition is growing dangerous. More and more soldiers express their distrust towards you and your mythical powers. They grumble in their lack of understanding of where you are leading them and what your plan is. What's worse, the wary have once again emerged among the officers. They are adding fuel to the fires of sedition, and we've already had cases of direct insubordination. You have to win back the trust of your soldiers, forthwith, or else the army will be paralyzed. Some privates have already refused to march into battle. I suggest that we make your strategy clear by setting up a bulletin board. It could have a new statement with your name on it every week. Every 2 weeks, you could invite delegates, no, that's not how you say it, from your soldiers to ask any questions they may have. It feels like the soldiers are discouraged and dismayed. We should embolden them by reminding them that the crusade is about more than just death and danger. This is a time of camaraderie, valor too. Maybe we could adorn the city with an inspiring monument or the kind that lifts your spirits whenever you walk by. Soldiers have the right to ask their generals questions, but they have no right to disobey orders simply because their curiosity isn't being satisfied. They are committing sabotage, and the penalty of sabotage is court-martial. We'll build new taverns for our soldiers and pour them a free beer on the command's behalf. That's the easiest way to win their love. The wary, again, I thought we took care of the problem. Not completely, apparently. The captain makes a helpless gesture. We haven't yet solved the main issue. Far too many officers still believe that the Queen herself should be in charge of the crusade. No matter how many feats you've achieved, they still consider you an upstart. We'll have to do something about them soon, but the unrest among the soldiers is the most pressing matter at all. What do you think of the wary? They are your comrades in arms, after all. I think of them as traitors, Commander. Hart Madam replies quickly without a shadow of a doubt. What exactly that my soldiers find worrying? Your mythical powers. Yes, they do secure us one victory after another, but even the most loyal troops raise questions from time to time. They wonder, what are you? Are you mortal like the rest of us? Or perhaps an emissary from other spheres? And if so, then which ones? Are you truly fighting for the Crusaders' cause, or do you have your own ulterior motives? All of this paves the way of endless speculation. I have my own motives. Let's discuss our options in further detail. As you command, Sela, what's your plan? I have doubts that explaining battle strategy will help our people in any way. They're fighting a brutal war, maybe the worst war in Galorian history. They're exhausted and scared. If we want to help them, we have to give them courage. We're already making an effort, but I would also suggest adorning their fortresses with monuments. Not grim ones, but something heroic and uplifting. That way, soldiers who are about to march out or have just marched in will be able to smile at them like old friends. I had a marble friend like that once. The recruits in our order believed that rubbing the hilt of his stone sword would bring them good luck. Dismissing mutinous talk as exhaustion and lack of support is fundamentally wrong. Those few with conscience serve well and true as it is, without question. However, those who can afford to doubt and ignore their orders are a step away from becoming deserters, who will remain deaf to any pleas and arguments, and even so, to inspiring embellishments. And Vetcher, what do you suggest? The inciters' bodies hanging from the gallows will answer any of your questions. Sedition must be extinguished swiftly and mercilessly. It's absurd even to consider convincing or appeasing the doubtful. That couldn't be more counterproductive. The sight of hanged bodies will absolutely stop soldiers from asking questions, but it won't stop them from thinking them. For example, will they hang me next? Did I make a mistake by joining this army? Isn't it about time I made a run for it? And dearie, in your opinion, please. There's centuries-old cure for grouches and complainers. Alcohol and a little cheer. We'll build more taverns, supply them with strong beer, and treat the soldiers once or twice, courtesy of the treasury. They'll leave their doubts behind in the blink of an eye, proclaim you the best and most beloved commander who ever lived. I'll be the first to agree that taverns are a good thing to have, but they're not enough to support the army's fighting spirit. If we don't give our soldiers something more than drinks, our taverns will just become places to drown their sorrows or vent their frustration through brawls. And Captain Harmatin, what would you advise? If the soldiers don't understand you, then you must bridge the gap between you and them. Create means of direct communication, so to speak. We'll set up bulletin boards that will, simply put, keep everyone informed of the situation on the front and the basics of our strategy. In addition, we'll set up times when once a week or every 2 weeks, soldiers can send delegates to you and ask any lingering questions. A general is under no obligation to report to their soldiers. They'll end up disputing your every word and second-guessing your orders before you know it. In some exceptional cases, the general may seek counsel from experienced veterans, but turning your headquarters into a thoroughfare is the surest way to destroy your authority. A bulletin board? Pray doubt how many of our soldiers can actually read. Maybe we should engrave this board with some obscene carvings, then it would at least be useful. Thank you, I think it's clear. Units with +5 bonus to chance to act twice during positive combat morale. Okay. Gallows decrease the chance to skip action due to negative combat morale. Tavern reduces all morale effects in combat. Bulletin board provides all units with +3 bonus to chance to act twice due to positive combat morale and a -3 bonus to chance to escape action due. That one seems like the best one. Got to be a service. I'll tell the soldiers to choose their own delegates. You'll have to text of your first address to troops on your table today. Really? Really?
Our path leads on.
Honestly, I was just going to start traveling to, I forget the name of the place, but I was going to travel somewhere.